The Ascendant, Endless Reincarnation by the Dream Forger. My name is Richard Brooks. I died while saving a kid. Kicking the bucket at 28 was really depressing, you know. There's so much I still want to do. But instead of passing on, I was thrust into an endless series of reincarnations. Whenever I die, I earn karma points based on my achievements and growth. These points can be exchanged for weapons, spells, or other bonuses to make my next lives more interesting. What kills me only makes me stronger, or something like that. Honestly, it feels like I'm stuck in an RPG. The difficulty setting can be pretty ridiculous too. Sometimes all I can do is grit my teeth in frustration as I die an ignoble death. But I won't complain. Even when it's dangerous and painful, I love life. This is all an opportunity. I'll do my best no matter what kind of sadistic fate the system throws at me. I'll swing the warhammer of justice, craft and enhance the most amazing artifacts, overwhelm opponents with a barrage of auto-casting spells, lead powerful vassals in the main wars, all for the sake of creating an eternal sanctuary. With my unique power of runecraft, I'll even come strong enough one day to overturn fate, or at least find out what the hell is really going on. It might take a few hundred or 1,000 lifetimes, but what's the rush? I have all the time in the world now. Note, R15+, this is the work of an inexperienced author with a full-time job. Please expect an erratic release schedule. Prologue. The Wheels of Fate. Turn. Boredom is underrated. For years I've patiently listened to my friends and colleagues whine about the lack of excitement in their daily lives. Wouldn't it be nice to be a movie star or a billionaire's son? Aren't pro athletes so lucky, getting paid millions to do what they love? Heck, even being a traveling gourmet would be much better than being stuck inside a damn cubicle, they said. I understood where they were coming from, but I never shared their views. If there's one thing I learned from my parents, it's gratitude. The Brooks family never took anything for granted. How could I complain about my lot? I was born to loving parents in a safe, peaceful country. We weren't rich, but there was always food on the table and our heating was never cut off. And even though I graduated in the midst of a recession, I was still able to find a well-paying job. I have 4 working limbs and a healthy mind. That alone makes me luckier than countless other people. Yes, office work can be monotonous at times, but isn't that a luxury too? Never having to fight for survival to worry about where my next meal is coming from, it's pure bliss. My biggest dream was to continue living this happy and simple life. I had it all planned out, get married, have 3 kids, adopt a Welsh corgi, and spend much of my retirement woodworking or fixing old motorcycles. Just endless days of idleness in my corner of the world. It would have been perfect, no matter how boring of an existence my life was. I cherished every second. So, this is quite a shame. I really didn't want to die so early. My legs were crushed, turned into a mess of shattered bone and flowing blood. It was a miracle that I hadn't passed out from the pain yet. People around me were screaming, but I barely noticed. My mind was completely in shock. Wait, is the boy I pushed out of the way fine? Yes, there he is. Thank God, he looks unharmed. I would feel really silly if I did this for nothing. That's probably my mother covering his mother covering his eyes. Good call, lady. You should probably book a therapist for the poor boy too. The truck driver was almost hysterical. I'm sure this memory will traumatize him, and he'll definitely lose his job. But he really shouldn't have been speeding like that. Stop signs exist for a reason, man. Maybe his brakes failed though. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Not like I can chastise him in my current condition. For the next few minutes I fought to stay conscious. Everything was covered in a red haze. The sound of sirens told me that I had been put in an ambulance. However, and we seemed to be moving pretty fast. Deep down, I felt like I wasn't going to make it. Hang in there, bro, hero, one of the EMTs said, holding my hand. We'll get you fixed right up. Your parents are on the way to the hospital too. Damn. Sorry, Mom and Dad. This will be a horrible experience for them. I can't imagine how worried and afraid they are right now. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to save this kid after all. But who could just stand there in that situation? I almost made it out scot-free too. The truck only got my lower half. Don't let them see, I said in between bloody cough. My legs. No worries. We'll have a tarp or something ready in the ER, the guy joked. Warning, critical injury sustained. What? A small translucent box had appeared in the center of my vision. It looked like a notification of some sort, though it only stated the obvious. What is this? The blue box floated, unattached to anything. When I moved my eyes, it followed to stay in my line of sight. The two EMTs didn't seem to notice it at all. Warning, HP severely depleted, death imminent. The message, I wheezed, trying to speak. Easy, champ, save your energy, one of the EMTs said in a soothing voice, giving me a forced smile. We're almost at hospital, just hang in there for a little longer, his partner said. Both of their expressions were grim though. They knew that the chances were low. Every second that passed, more of my strength left me. I tried as hard as I could to stay awake a little longer. Let me say goodbye to my family at least. However, it wasn't meant to be. My vision faded, and another notification appeared. You have died. Ending run 001. Soul anchored in Ascendant Sapphire Dancer's domain. Returning in 3, 2, 1. After a final breath, filled with unwillingness, I fell into a world of infinite blackness. Chapter 1. New Ascendant. How long did I float in that void? It might have been a few seconds. It might have been an eternity. Time seemed to have ground to a halt within the desolate landscape, but eventually the blackness lifted. I slowly opened my eyes and found myself lying down on a cold stone floor. As I sat up, I noticed something surprising. There was no pain. My legs had completely healed. The blood-soaked clothes I previously wore had been replaced by a set of plain white robes. Is this the afterlife? I murmured, a little depressed. When my consciousness returned, I was half hoping that I would wake up in a hospital room surrounded by my friends and family. But other than that, what else could explain the situation? It's over. My parents will be heartbroken. Both of them are old and have no other children. So this is going to hit them hard. Mom and Dad are tough, though. Hopefully they can get past this. If nothing else, I hope they can take comfort in the fact that I didn't die meaninglessly. Well, there's no use moping around about what's already been done. Let's look for St. Peter or whoever is supposed to welcome me here. Climbing to my feet, I looked around the room I had woken up in. It took a few seconds for my eyes to adjust to the dim lighting. This building was a large dome made entirely out of grey stone. I'd guess it was around the size of a large theater. The walls were covered in many carvings of a strange language I didn't recognize, making this place look like some kind of ancient temple. But it was well maintained, every inch was spotless, and there wasn't a single crack in the walls. The dome ceiling was made out of clear glass, crystal clear glass, and through it I could see a starry night. There was a full moon in the center of the sky high above me, its gentle light illuminating the inside of the dome. How beautiful, I said out loud. But this wasn't the time to stargaze. Behind me was a massive set of double doors, around 3 times as tall as I was. No matter how hard I pulled or pushed, though, they wouldn't open. There was no visible lock either. What's keeping them shut tight? After trying a little longer, I gave up and decided to look for another way out. Then I turned my eyes towards the middle of the room, where there was an ornate altar. After trying a little longer, I gave up and on top of it looked magical. If that gem were ever at auctions on Earth, I'm sure its price would break records. The thing was the size of my head. I walked around looking for any clues as to what I should do next. This was a strange place. What was most bizarre was that the dome was splitting into 2 very different halves. The side I woke up in was empty, apart from the torches mounted on the walls and the cold stone beneath my bare feet. There was nothing to take note of. However, the other half of the dome was completely furnished. It had 2 ottoman couches, 7 or so stuffed animals, a king-sized bed, a tall wooden wardrobe, and wait, is this a hot tub? In other words, that side looked like someone actually lived there. Most likely a girl, judging by the pink sheets and toys. The modern furniture looked out of place inside this mythical stone structure. It created a jarring contrast and made me question the decorator's taste. I'm feeling more confused with each passing second. This place doesn't seem like heaven at all. What's going on? Welcome, Ascendant. Tallying karma points earned. This window again. What is it this time? While I was dying, it warned me about how serious my injuries were and the loss of my HP. Back then, it reminded me of an RPG, and I almost laughed at how absurd it was. But I don't understand this new message. While I was thinking about what the notification meant, it suddenly expanded and multiple lines appeared beneath the original message. Survived for 28 years. 3 points awarded. Saved a child's life. 10 points awarded. Self-sacrifice. 10 points awarded. Strongest creature killed. Rabid dog. 1 point awarded. Reputation bonus. 1 point awarded. Total karma earned. 25 points. Evaluation D-. Received 2 bonus points. Current karma 27 points. Unlocked title. New Ascendant. Beginner protection active until 10th run. Unlocked title. Good Samaritan. Good aligned characters are slightly friendlier. I stood there for a while in stunned silence. Was this supposed to be a summary of my life? I've heard many religious interpretations of what happened after death, but this is out there. Karma is a familiar word, if I'm not mistaken. It's the idea that past actions can shape your future. People use it to justify morality, saying that good deeds are rewarded and that evil will eventually be punished. That would explain why I got so many points for saving the kid. But then, why did I get karma for something like strongest creature killed? And how long I stayed alive? That doesn't sound related to mortality at all. This looks more like a list of achievements in a game rather than a measure of how good of a person I was. If it's based on accomplishments, then I'm not surprised my total points are so low. I wasn't some kind of extraordinary figure, no great inventions or contributions to science. Still, the evaluation is depressing. Getting a D- grade on my entire life kind of hurts. If I knew that it would all end so suddenly, maybe I would have tried harder to leave my mark on the world. I don't regret how I lived, but there are definitely things I could have done better. Ascendant, your journey must continue. Once you are ready to reincarnate, please approach this domain's gateway. The previous messages disappeared, and another window popped up, Reincarnation. As the word sank in, my face broke into a smile. Sure, why not? I said happily, and approached the altar in the center of the room. Given how the sapphire on top of it was now shining brightly, I guess this is the gateway it's referring to. I'm not done yet. There's so much more I want to see and experience. Reincarnation is exactly what I wish for. If this place is giving me a second chance at life, then there's no way I could turn that down.